Have you ever wondered why some days you feel sharper than others, like your brain is working with clarity and calm, and then there are days it feels like you're stuck in a fog, forgetting things, struggling to focus, or just feeling off? What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools to restore your brain, protect your memory, and even slow the aging process is something you already do every day? That tool is sleep. But not just sleep. Quality sleep. The kind that leaves you feeling rested, balanced, and mentally clear the next morning. The kind your brain actually depends on to keep functioning well, especially as we age. Today, we're going to take a deep and gentle journey through why sleep is the foundation of a beautiful, aging brain, and how to build the kind of sleep that supports your memory, mood, and emotional resilience as a woman over 60. Let's begin with what sleep really does for your brain, beyond just rest. When you fall into deep sleep, something remarkable happens. Your brain goes into cleaning mode. Think of it like the night staff coming in after a long day. A special fluid, called cerebrospinal fluid, begins to wash through your brain, clearing out toxins and waste. This process helps prevent damage to brain cells, and it's deeply connected to long-term brain health. Without enough quality sleep, this cleanup crew can't do its job. Waste builds up, inflammation increases, and over time, this may raise your risk for serious conditions like Alzheimer's, depression, and even stroke. One study followed over 600 older adults who struggled with sleep, trouble falling asleep, waking up often, feeling tired during the day. When researchers scanned their brains, they found that those with poor sleep patterns had brains that looked almost 3 years older than those who slept well. That's right, poor sleep can age your brain faster. And for women especially, who are already navigating changes in hormones, metabolism, and life transitions, the impact can be even more intense. But the good news is sleep is changeable. You don't need a prescription. You don't need expensive tools. You need awareness, gentle habit shifts, and a willingness to make space for yourself. Let's explore some of the most important ways to invite better sleep, starting tonight. The first place to begin is understanding your sleep environment. Imagine your bedroom not just as a place you sleep, but as a space that either soothes your nervous system or stimulates it. For many older women, especially those living alone, the bedroom can become cluttered, full of light, noise, or even reminders of unfinished business. But your brain craves darkness, quiet, and cool air to slip into deep sleep. One of the easiest changes you can make is to turn your bedroom into what sleep scientists call a sleep sanctuary. That means keeping the temperature around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, using blackout curtains, removing glowing electronics, and making your bed something you look forward to sinking into, not just a place you end up by default. Now, you might be thinking, I already do that, but I still can't sleep. So let's go deeper. Next, we look at how you wind down before bed. You see, your body doesn't fall asleep like flipping a switch. It needs to transition, especially after a long day full of screens, news, conversations, or chores. A helpful practice is to begin winding down at least 60 to 90 minutes before bed. That means turning off stimulating input, TVs, phones, emails, and replacing them with rituals that tell your nervous system, it's safe to rest now. Some women find reading a novel under dim lighting helps. Others enjoy a warm shower, gentle stretches, or listening to soft music. One woman in her late 60s, who had struggled with insomnia for over a decade, shared that simply lighting a candle and journaling each night for 10 minutes before bed transformed her sleep. It gave her a moment of closure. Her mind stopped spinning, and slowly, her sleep became deeper and more consistent. Another hidden culprit that affects sleep, especially in older adults, is light exposure during the day. Our brains rely on natural light, particularly in the morning, to regulate something called our circadian rhythm. That's your internal clock that tells you when to feel sleepy and when to feel awake. But many older women, especially those retired or spending more time indoors, aren't getting enough daylight. And that lack of light can confuse your brain, making it harder to fall asleep at night. If you can, try stepping outside in the early morning light, even for 10 minutes. Sit by a sunny window, walk around the block, let your eyes take in that gentle brightness. It tells your brain, the day has begun. Then, by evening, your body will know it's time to wind down. Now let's talk about food and drink. and how they can quietly disrupt your sleep without you even realizing it. Caffeine is an obvious one, but here's something many people don't realize. Even if you drink coffee at noon, it may still be in your system at midnight. That's because, as we age, our bodies process caffeine more slowly. A cup of tea or chocolate after lunch might not seem like much, but for a sensitive brain, it can be enough to throw off your entire night. Alcohol is another tricky one. Some people believe that a glass of wine helps them relax. And while it might help you fall asleep faster, research shows it disrupts the second half of your night, making your sleep lighter, more fragmented, and far less restorative. If you enjoy wine, try having it with dinner and leaving at least 3 hours before bedtime. That gives your body time to metabolize the alcohol before you go to sleep. A real-life example comes from a woman named Carla, age 72. She'd been waking up at 3 a.m. every night for years and couldn't figure out why. She tried meditation, supplements, even changing her mattress. But it wasn't until she gave up her nightly glass of wine that things shifted. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping through the night for the first time in over a decade. That brings us to a subtle but powerful tool for sleep: routine. Your brain loves patterns. It feels safest when it knows what's coming next. That's why going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, can dramatically improve sleep quality. You might not see results overnight, but if you stay consistent, your body will start to anticipate sleep. And when that happens, falling asleep becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural rhythm. Now, before we move to the second half of this conversation, I'd like you to reflect on your own sleep. Are there 1 or 2 small shifts you could begin tonight? Maybe dimming the lights earlier, or stepping outside in the morning light, or replacing your evening news with a calming audiobook. Even one small change, done with consistency, can have a powerful ripple effect on your brain health. Because the truth is, your brain isn't just aging. It's responding, it's listening, and it's capable of renewal when you give it the conditions it needs. In the next part, we'll continue this journey by looking at emotional habits that influence sleep, the role of movement and daytime energy, and how older women can use community and purpose to deepen their rest at night. But for now, let this part settle in. And sometimes, the changes that matter most are not just about your bedroom or what you eat. They're about what lives in your heart. You see, sleep doesn't happen in isolation. It's deeply tied to how safe, peaceful, and emotionally held we feel, especially at night, when the world quiets down and we're left alone with our thoughts. For many older women, especially those living alone, the night can bring up feelings that don't surface during the day. Loneliness, worry, regret, an unsettled mind. And those feelings, if left unacknowledged, can quietly sabotage sleep. That's why creating a sense of emotional closure before bed is so important. Think of it as tidying your emotional space. Just like we brush our teeth and change into pajamas, our minds also need a gentle routine to settle. One method that's helped many women is what psychologists call a thought download. Simply writing down anything on your mind before sleep. It doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't need to be pretty. You can jot down worries, to-dos, or even random thoughts. The act of putting it on paper tells your brain, you don't need to hold this all night. You can rest now. Another woman I spoke to, who had spent years struggling with restless nights after losing her spouse, started doing this every evening. She kept a small notebook by her bed. At first, she wrote only a few lines. But over time, it became a quiet moment of peace. Her thoughts had a place to go, and her sleep slowly softened. And that brings us to another gentle, often overlooked factor: movement during the day. You may have noticed that the more physically active you are, the easier it is to fall asleep. That's not a coincidence. Our bodies were designed to move. Movement helps regulate hormones, reduce anxiety, improve mood, and yes, promote deeper sleep. But as we age, and as routines shift in retirement, many women find themselves moving less than their bodies truly need. Now, movement doesn't have to mean exercise classes or intense workouts. It can be as simple as gardening, stretching, walking to the corner store, dancing in your kitchen while the kettle boils. Even small bursts of movement throughout the day help burn off excess energy, reduce mental tension, and signal to your body that it's safe to rest when night comes. One woman, age 68, told me she started doing a 5-minute Tai Chi routine every afternoon, not for sleep, but for her balance. What surprised her wasn't just how strong she felt. Within weeks, she was falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer. The body and the brain, they are always listening. And what about social connection? You might not think of community as something that affects sleep, but feeling connected, valued, and emotionally seen by others plays a powerful role in how safe our nervous systems feel. Humans are wired to sleep best when we feel safe. And emotional safety often comes from meaningful connection. That might mean talking with a friend, joining a group, attending a class, or even volunteering. One gentle suggestion: if you've been feeling isolated, try scheduling a short call during the day, even just 10 minutes. Let someone hear your voice. Let yourself be heard. The comfort we feel in connection can echo into the night, softening our bodies into rest. You can also explore purposeful moments in your daily life. As we get older, the roles we used to carry, mother, worker, partner, may shift. And sometimes, we quietly lose the rhythms that gave our days meaning. But even small moments of purpose, a task, a creative project, a conversation where you offer support, can ground us. And that grounded feeling often leads to more ease at night. Because sleep, at its core, is an act of trust, a letting go, a surrender. Let's take a moment to pull everything together. If you've been struggling with poor sleep, or waking up tired, or wondering why your brain feels less sharp than it used to, know this: you are not broken. You're not alone. And most importantly, there is hope. You don't need to change everything at once. In fact, trying to do too much too quickly often backfires. What matters most is that you start somewhere, small, consistent, and with kindness. That could mean dimming the lights earlier, or stepping outside to feel the sun, or skipping that late-night snack, or writing down your worries, or calling a friend. Each of these small acts is a signal to your brain: you are cared for, you are safe, you can rest. And over time, those signals build a new rhythm, one where your brain is no longer in fight or flight, but in restore and renew. Because here's something we forget: the brain never stops changing. Even now, in your 60s, 70s, 80s, your brain can still adapt, repair, and grow. This is what scientists call neuroplasticity, and sleep is one of the most powerful tools to activate it. So if you want a more beautiful brain, not in how it looks, but in how it feels, how it remembers, how it loves, and how it carries you forward, start with sleep. Let it become a place of care, not frustration. Let your evenings become softer. Let your body feel safe again. Let your mind have permission to pause. You've lived through so much. You've given so much. You deserve rest, not just sleep, but real, deep, healing rest. Before we close, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small thing that helps you sleep better? Have you found any rituals or tricks that make a difference? Or maybe you've struggled and you're still looking for something that works. Please share your thoughts in the comments. You might help another woman who's quietly dealing with the same thing. And together, we can build a space where rest is not just possible, but normal, natural, and beautifully deserved. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, or sharing it with someone you care about. Every interaction helps us grow this gentle, thoughtful space. And most of all, thank you for listening, for being here, and for taking care of yourself. Because you matter, and your rest matters too.